This is a meeting of the Athens Board of Zoning Appeals. The time is 7 p.m. and the date is July 11th. At this time, I will call the meeting to order. The board consists of 5 members and 2 alternates, the alternates taking full part in the discussions and becoming a voting member in the absence of a member or when a member abstains for conflict of interest. Present tonight are members Robert Delich, Joe Kraus, Kelly Sauber, and Kay Towsley, and alternate Aaron Thomas. I am Lisa Carson, the chair. At this time, I invite you to view a pre-recorded video on the rules and procedures of the board. The Athens Board of Zoning Appeals operates according to the following procedure. The chair will name and describe the case. The zoning administrator or secretary will state the basis of the objection and any applicable facts or conditions pertaining to the case. The appellant or their representative will give reason why the appeal should be viewed favorably. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the request will be heard. Anyone wishing to speak in general comment will be heard. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition will be heard. If necessary, the appellant or their representative will offer concluding, summary, or rebuttal remarks. Testimony from the floor shall be closed. The board will deliberate and render a decision. According to Athens City Code, Section 23.07.03b, the board has power to grant variances from the strict application of the code, provided the variance will not be contrary to the public interest, the spirit of the code is observed, public safety and welfare are secured, and substantial justice is done. According to Athens City Code, Section 23.07.10c, variances from the code shall not be granted unless the board makes specific findings of fact, based directly on the particular evidence presented to it, that the standards and conditions imposed in this title, if applicable, have been met by the applicant. Exceptional circumstances. There are exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions applying to the property in question or to the intended use of the property that do not apply generally to other properties or classes or uses in the same zone. Practical difficulty and undue hardship. Because of exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or conditions pertaining to a specific piece of property, a literal enforcement of these regulations will result in practical difficulty or undue hardship that is unnecessary to the achievement of public purposes. Preservation of equal property rights. Literal interpretation of these regulations would deprive the appellant of rights commonly enjoyed by others in the same zone and the same vicinity, while a granting of the requested variance will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied to other properties in the same zone and the same vicinity. Minimum variance. The variance granted is the minimum variance required to make possible the reasonable use of the property. Absence of detriment. The authorizing of such variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property and will not materially impair the purpose of the zoning code or the public interest. Not of a general nature. The condition or situation of the specific piece of property or the intended use of said property for which variance is sought, one or the other or in combination, is not of so general or recurrent a nature as to make reasonably practicable the formulation of a general regulation for such condition or situation. Any person, resident, or officer, department, or appointed body of the City of Athens, aggrieved by a decision of the Board, may petition the Athens County Court of Common Pleas concerning the illegality of the decision. Such petition must be filed within 30 days after the mailing of the decision of the board to the applicant. Thank you. Add that the board also has the power to hear requests for conditionally permitted uses, which is what the case before us is concerned with tonight. The one case on tonight's agenda is for the property at 368 Richland Avenue. The board is required to take testimony under oath. Would anyone wishing to speak concerning any, the item on the agenda, please stand. Do you swear or affirm that any testimony you will present to the board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so at the property at 368 Richland Avenue, our case 2303C, the appellant is requesting a conditional use in accordance with Athens City Code 230403C6A to allow a restaurant to be permitted within an R3 zone, which is to be considered a convenience business to the residential apartments surrounding the area. So we don't have anyone representing the city here, so the appellant or his representative may approach the podium and tell us about your project, and please give your name and address.
All right. My name is T. Michael Carruthers. I'm with RBC Architects at 131 West State Street. What we are looking to do is convert an existing bank, which used to be the Hocking Valley Bank, into a restaurant with a small dining area. The site is ideal for it. There's the correct amount of parking for it. In fact, it exceeds the amount of minimum requirements for parking. All of the setbacks for an R3 are okay. They're met. I've double checked and we meet that. When it comes to FEMA, we are above the FEMA BFE requirements. The other thing, if you notice on Richland Avenue, a lot of the businesses there are restaurants, so it seems to be in keeping with that stretch of road. We have no intention of doing anything to ingress or egress. We'll be keeping the existing curbs, no curb cut needed. This will work absolutely perfect for a restaurant. The other thing to bring up is that there will be no drive-through, so will never be a concern about traffic backing up onto Richland Avenue. In fact, one of the things we fully intend to do is completely take out the drive-through that's there that the bank used to use. So, any questions or?
Any questions?
To check the ATM, make sure there's no cash?
Well, the ATM will be the only thing that's staying there.
Oh, no.
Correct.
Really?
Correct. Hocking Valley leased it back from me for 10 years.
Are there any other questions? I think we have no questions, and so I guess I need to ask if there's anybody who wishes to. Are you planning to comment, you other attendees? Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank you. You can come up momentarily if necessary. So, is there anybody present wishing to speak in favor of the request? Come on up, John. Please give your name and address.
Hi, my name is John Goodicants. I'm at 104 Maplewood Drive, and I own two businesses in town, the Slice House at 540 West Union and Avalanche Pizza at 329 East State Street.
Are you supposed to announce when you served on the board as well, like give those dates?
Oh. I'm just thinking of ribs through that ATM. That would be really nice. But I'm just here for support for Eric Lee. I've known him for 15 years. He's a friend, he's a neighbor, and a fellow small independent restaurateur. which means he's crazy like me. And with such limited margins and stuff, and all the corporations and all the franchisees around town, I think this would be a perfect spot for some of his barbecue. And if you've ever had his like smoked prime rib, oh man.
Sounds good.
Anyway, I support his efforts.
Thank you so much, John.
Thanks, John.
Anybody else wish to speak in support or in general comment or against? Clearly not against. I think I can close the floor to discussion then. So we have a different procedure tonight. We have been given some instruction in how to handle the conditional use, which is actually very helpful. So I'm going to go through these findings of fact, and then we will give our opinions and make our votes. So as to case 2303C, located at 368 Richland Avenue. Do I have to repeat the thing again? I think I should.
I think so.
Yeah, where the appellant is requesting a conditional use in accordance with ACC 2304-03C6A to allow a restaurant to be permitted within an R3 zone and to be considered a convenience business to the residential apartments surrounding the area. The BZA has the power of original jurisdiction to approve the issuance of the conditional use permit by finding in writing the following. And then I'm going to go through these findings of fact, some of which have already been established, so that we don't have to wonder about them. Number one, pursuant to Athens City Code, Section ACC 230702A and 230702E1, the proposed conditional use is to be located in a zone wherein such use may be conditionally permitted. And the appellant's representative has pointed out that they have met all the conditions, but we need to still go through this. The property is located in an R3 zone, this is our finding of fact, and City Code 2304-03C6 applies in that the use is providing services primarily for residents of the neighborhood. Number two, pursuant to Athens City Code 2307-02E2, the conditional use is to be considered as an individual case. And that is the case here. We are reviewing the request on an individual basis. Number three, pursuant to Athens City Code 230702A and Athens City Code 230702E3A, the conditional use complies with all applicable city regulations. And as the appellant's representative enumerated, they do, in fact, the project complies with all applicable city regulations, the conditional use, I should say. Number four, pursuant to ACC 230702A and ACC 230703E3B, the conditional use will be of such size and character that it will generally be in harmony with the appropriate and orderly development of the zone. I think everyone would agree that the conditional use is in harmony with the development of the zone. Mm-hmm. Number five, pursuant to ACC 230703E3B, the conditional use will not be detrimental to the orderly development of adjacent properties, nor inconsistent with the city comprehensive plan. Does everyone agree that that is the case here?
Surrounded by restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised it's R3 zoned, actually. It seems like it would make more sense to be a business zone, but
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's good.
I would not be surprised if the map was drawn in properly.
it does show those particular, and there's multiple parcels that are together there under this building, and it shows them all as in the residential zone, but it seems weird to me, but
Right.
who knows? Who knows what somebody was thinking when they built the zoning map? We don't know.
Right.
I've seen it drawn in properly before according to the words and then the map drawn in properly. Specifically, property on West State Street.
So I maybe should have asked her as I went, but is everyone in agreement with the finding of facts as I presented them?
Yes.
So far.
You have no
Yes.
objections? Okay. All right, so number five. Pursuant to Athens City Code 230702A, upon making an affirmative finding in writing that the proposed conditional use is to be located in a zone
May I
where...
interrupt?
Sorry.
Did you do this one, ingress and egress?
He mentioned it.
Isn't that a specific, oh, she didn't have that there? Okay.
No.
All right, sorry.
I think that would go under the applicable city regulations.
Okay.
Upon making an affirmative finding in writing that the proposed conditional use is to be located in a zone wherein such use may be conditionally permitted, that all conditionals for approval of such use in such zone have been met, and that such use shall not result in significant negative impacts upon or conflict with surrounding use, the BZA shall direct the zoning administrator to issue a conditional use permit for such use, which shall list all conditions and safeguards specified by the BZA for approval. In granting approval for any conditional use, the BZA may prescribe appropriate conditions and safeguards. Are there any conditions or safeguards that anyone would like to propose? And if not, who would like to make a motion for us to approve this conditional use?
I can make a motion. I move to approve a conditional use permit to the property at 368 Richland Avenue in accordance with ACC 230403C6A to allow a restaurant within an R3 zone to be considered a convenience business to the residential apartments surrounding the area.
Thank you. Do we have someone to second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay, at this time we vote. All those in favor of allowing this conditional use, please raise your right hand.
I can't vote tonight, right?
I guess not. Thanks, Aaron.
I'm an extra.
So we have 5 and none opposed. So you have received your conditional use permit. Thanks for coming in. Is it true the barbecue is just for people who live in the neighborhood?
You have to show your ID. Are you a South Sider?
Thanks very much. Our other...
Congratulations, Eric. I think
Yeah.
this is.
Thank all of you for your time. I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Look forward to sampling your food at this location.
Your daughter looks very excited. She looks very excited.
Yeah.
This is an exciting place. Yeah.
In the meantime, you could always come out to Lake Hope.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
The Sunday brunches.
Okay, our other business is disposition of meetings from April 11th. I assume you looked at those?
Yes. Yeah, I thought there was no meeting. Did you notice in the email I voted yes?
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's why it was said to us, because I knew one was canceled and I thought there was nothing going on. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll
I
look.
see. I thought you were just being cheeky.
I thought so too.
I felt that it was canceled at first as well.
Oh.
And then I realized that, wait, there is a second case.
Yeah.
Right,
So-
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I,
Okay. So we have a case waiting for us still. Would someone then, if you have no changes to suggest, could someone who was present for that meeting please move that we accept the minutes?
I'll move that we accept the minutes for April 11th, 2023.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All wishing to approve the minutes as we have received them for April 11th, is that right? Please raise your right hand.
I miss saying yes.
Unanimous.
I like when we said
You
yes.
voted twice.
Thank you very
Felt like
much.
you can only
official.
vote once.
Well, we did.
That's right.
We made it that way when we did Zoom, is what I noticed. So it could be, somebody could sneak in a yes when, on the Zoom call.
It is 7:19, and I declare the meeting adjourned.